and welcome to another edition of Coffee Talk with immigration attorney Brian D. Lerner. In this particular episode, I'd like to talk a bit about what's going on in a couple aspects with asylum and people coming to the U.S. for asylum. So there was just a case that was ruled in Second Circuit that sent the case back down to the immigration judge because in that particular case, the immigration judge had ruled that because this particular lady who was applying for asylum had provided cleaning support, for the people who was she was being persecuted from, that she in fact provided material support and was barred from immigration, from an approval of asylum. Now think about it. This woman was forced to clean the houses of the people who were persecuting her, and think in reality what would happen if she said no, if she didn't agree to clean the house of the people persecuting her. They would have killed her, okay? They would have killed her, or they would have done very bad things to her, so she did it under duress. And the judge essentially said, well, you provided material support by cleaning the houses of the persecutors, therefore you're barred. Because the law says if you provide material support to the entities, people, groups that are persecuting you, you can't get asylum. So the BIA essentially issued a very rational decision saying that, look, that is not material support. You need to look into why she was cleaning and determine if in fact she is barred and sent it back down. So that's a good thing. The other item, which you might have heard about, is Trump is and has separated families from their children when they enter the U.S. to apply for asylum. And he hasn't ordered this because there's not enough space. He hasn't ordered it because it's more efficient. He has ordered that when a family comes in and applies for asylum and there are children, that they are to be separated so that it will dissuade other people from that country from applying for asylum. So minus the complete injustice of that and minus the bordering on illegality of that, there are people who have come into the United States to apply for asylum only to be separated from their kids. And to make matters unbelievably worse, immigration seems to have lost where these kids are. So the parents cannot communicate with the kids just to see if they are okay because immigration doesn't know where they are. This is almost like coming out of a fictional book. It's so unbelievable that something like this is happening. But the fact is that the United States allows people to apply for asylum. There's a whole section of law which was passed by Congress, signed by prior presidents, on immigration law, on particularly asylum. There have been amendments which again have been signed into law over the years. And so as it stands now, the law on asylum still exists. And if President Trump doesn't want asylum to exist, then it would have to be taken away by Congress and later signed by him. So apparently this is his effort to try to limit those people applying for asylum. What is implicit in this action is the belief that all people applying for asylum have fake asylum claims and are not really running for their lives and are not really being persecuted. The idea that the United States would shut its doors on people really being persecuted from their home countries is unheard of. And it's certainly not American. Now, if the people who come in and apply for asylum, and if they lose, well, then they're sent back to their country. Even more so, when they come into the U.S., they're given a credible, fair interview before they even get to the immigration judge. And if during the credible, fair interview they don't pass, and the asylum officer does not believe that there's a credible, fair persecution, they again are sent back to their country. So there are safeguards, many of them, for any fake asylum seekers. Which, by the way, if you apply for a frivolous asylum and or fake asylum, and that's determined to be the case, you will be barred from immigration benefits for the rest of your life. So separating families, mothers from their children when they enter the U.S. doesn't really protect against what it is that Trump is trying to do. It's a matter of allowing the law to determine whether they have a valid asylum claim and then adjudicating it as to whether it's approved or not. So that is essentially what is going on currently under asylum law and asylum cases. If you like the video, click like, subscribe. More on the coming videos. Thank you.